passion. When he left, there was no one there that cared about the business as much as JR.
He's had the employee brand.
Exactly, because the owners of Coffee Grounds was one of the founders of Akamai and another guy who ran like a successful chain of jewelry stores, so it was like their little toy business. They really didn't care about their business. If you don't care about your business, you don't provide a great customer experience, you're going to go out of business eventually.
Oh, look, but that brings another question. If the person who's doing all this work socially doesn't have a stake in a business, why would they really want to put out that much for the business? I mean, if you're the founder of your business, yeah, you're social and you're on Twitter and everything, but what if you're just like the employee working there? Do you really want to? There's a definite disconnect between the business case for social media if you're just an employee and you don't have any ownership of the business.
Definitely. I was just going to say, in that sense, quite often I'll speak to companies and they'll, because you need somebody to be tweeting frequently, during the day or during an event, and after hours quite often as well. And I know with the Meerkat campaign, they suffered because they had 50,000 followers and they needed to be tweeting at weekends. So they'd actually have to write, I'm very sorry, taking weekend off this weekend, in Meerkat, Russian, so they could take a day off. They weren't paid to do that, they weren't paid to do that.
But to just track back to how do small businesses make time for it, is really you need to go back to what is the aim of it? Are you trying to as an engagement tool? Are you going to just trying to get mass following? Is that really what you want to do? Who you are as well? Are you bringing more to the business, or are you just an individual who's trying to promote themselves as a consultant or something? And also automate as much as you can, schedule tweets for the times that you're not there. So the Meerkat campaign, why not schedule tweets out for the weekend, make it look like you're there? Schedule RSS feeds, all of those things. Every time you blog post, it will go out automatically to everywhere.
But going back to what Marshall...
I'm not saying anything. I wasn't talking very
Going back to what Marshall was saying, Brian Solis wrote a great post about putting your interns in charge of your social media strategy. Why that's a problem.
Heels. We all know what happened with Heels with that one.
Yeah, exactly, and because it's a very public communication channel, and a lot of people sort of discount social media as something we have to do, and it's not a critical piece of our mix. And so they have the people who are less passionate and care less about the business, have the less stakes, responding in a very public way, and that can be quite a mess. So you do have to have someone who cares about the business and who is willing to commit that time to deal with social media.
But also who knows about them, because what I used to say to people is, this is a voice for you. Would you put your least experienced person to give it a voice? But also, how can they provide value? Because a tweet, even though it's short, has to be valuable if it's going to go anywhere.
Interns make a really good filter. I mean, for building framework and social research used in the right way, really effective, been most effective introduced to social media.
Well, why do restaurants hire maitre d's'? It's not just to sit you at a table, right? It's to welcome you into the restaurant and have that interaction on the floor, because the chef, usually the chef owner, is too busy in the back cooking, right? But when the chef comes out to the floor and he goes, you've been to that restaurant where the chef comes out and greets you and like how special he made you feel. And if it's not the chef, it's the maitre d'. Those sort of real world interactions where you're learning about the people, not just the food on your plate, is what makes places so special. And all social media is doing is just virtualizing that. And that's the way to think about social media. So how would you respond to somebody in the meat space? It's the same way you respond to them in the cyberspace.
That's absolutely.
So I just wanted to ask about ideas for what you can offer in social media space. So many people offer free content now. So many people have blogs. Mark talked about in his presentation like call to actions in terms of the nail salon, I think it was, how they were kind of offering different offers through different channels. But if your business is, if you don't have a business that deals with kind of low value products, what can you really offer if you have a service which is,
advice?
Yeah.
What's your business?
It's a headhunting
so it's
practice.
B2B,
yeah.
Right.
Well, to a degree, it's more candidate focused than it is client.
Advice. You offer advice. You offer advice. You offer.
It's thought leadership. I mean, for people say, what's the difference in B2B, B2C, nonprofit? You get all sorts of answers, but to me, it really comes down to B2C is really about customer support and about getting customers back in the store. So you see a lot of campaign-driven campaigns or social call to action campaigns. With B2B, it's really more about thought leadership and establishing yourself as an expert in the space. And so if I was a headhunter, I'd be talking job market. It's really the soft sell through education. It's
That's
really
what it's starting to
we
do,
do.
yeah.
We teach people about social media marketing and engagement marketing, and hope that they view us as a thought leader, and therefore will buy our tools or do business.
There's actually just one point on that as well. One of the things that people don't often think about when they're blogging in particular, or tweeting as well, is looking at what their audience are into. So, I know the guy from Zappos actually did this very effectively by not blogging about shoes and stuff like that necessarily. He blogged about social media because he knew his audience, or the audience he wanted to tap into, were into social media. So he blogged about that. So if you did a profile of your audience and picked out the kind of stuff they were into, and then start getting into that stuff, it would work just as well. It may work even better because you'd be the only recruitment guy talking about whatever, Xbox or whatever.
Yeah.
It's finding your purple cow. If you ever read Seth Godin, what is it about you that makes you unique and special? And every small business has that. And being able to identify what makes you look unique in a sea of brown and black cows, what makes you stand out. And so that might very well be leveraging social media to get a job or to find candidates.
So Chuck here had a comment.
I was just going to say on the headhunting point, and also in general about the small businesses, completely agree with what you're saying about the kind of the loyalty and building up that and the whole community, but I don't think there has to be a dichotomy, and I think the real power of social media monitoring, especially the real-time kind of tools you can have, is just the power of the intentional web. So somebody, sort of saying, really having trouble filling this position, bing, you've got somebody who's there, then you just introduce them into the kind of community, or you're a thought leader, or have you thought, you don't sort of say, here, we did this service, it will say, here's some considerations I wrote on my blog or white paper, or somebody in our community talked about this, and then they're folded into this whole community where they start picking up the recommendations, because not going to trust us, it's our brand, we're just going to wax lyrical about it, but the people who recommend us will. So it doesn't matter what size, there is, I think, you leverage the loyalty, but also people are talking about these things and you can hook them up. And
that's why
your network is.
So Aaron, did you just find out?
Yeah, I'm sort of point my question. I guess I'll ask you the question. Does it work for every vertical? Does every vertical have clients that are in social media? I mean, is there a risk of ignoring the people who actually make a business if all you're focusing on is social media?
Can you give us an example? What kind of vertical do you think?
I'm just, the people who come into your shop every day don't use Twitter.
it can work for any vertical, but it can't work for every business, and that has to do with the people at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be a big commitment, but there is a certain commitment to social media marketing, and that's why there's great tools like Market Me Suite and Nutshell Mail designed more for the small to medium sized enterprises to make it easy on you.
Do you think you're better off in that case separating your social media, or actually just making your social media inclusive in your communication strategy, rather than saying this is social media?
You should integrate it as part of a whole, not an exclusive being. You look at Amazon, they didn't just get their customer base by advertising or by staying online. Look at the offline, the postables, the television. You have to, human beings, be they B2B, whether you've got a B2B sale or a B2C sale, we engage in the world around us through a variety of mediums, and we therefore have to, as those people trying to sell or market, we have to explore all of those and see what works best, but use them as an entirety and integrate it entirely.
That's so true. I'm starting